Welcome back to Nostalgianomics. Happy New Year's Eve to everyone out there. It's been a wild, crazy year, and anyone watching this video, anyone who stuck with me through this 2023 year, which there's been a lot of drama, a lot of turbulence, a lot of just wild and craziness all together. I truly appreciate every single one of you for still being here, sticking around, continuing to show back up and support the video, support the channel, leave comments, hang out in the live streams, whatever it may be. You know, kind of like this year, right? A lot of things change, but more than anything, everything kind of stays the same. The channel, it'll go through some changes next year, right? I'm going to try to introduce some new kind of content and new stuff, but, you know, guys, it's going to stay relatively the same. I want to keep it, you know, really geared towards the investing side of Pokemon. I want to keep it geared towards, you know, the business side, the market, making money in this hobby. You know, if you're a collector, like, you know, being able to collect at the best possible times at the best possible prices and find the right deals. And so I really want to make sure going into the new year that I stay true to what this channel is about. And, you know, obviously modern sealed, it's always going to be king in my book. I think modern sealed investing. Let's start the video right now. All right, let's start talking about things. I think going into next year, some of the strategies, right? I think it's all pretty much the same, guys. I really think everything is going to continue to work and continue to work better. And I'll tell you why. One, we were kind of talking about this in the Discord if you're not in there. The TikTok deals seem to be over, if not coming to an end. The money finally seems to be drying up. Because if you don't know, this wasn't like a Pokemon exclusive thing or a TCG thing. TikTok did this across the board. With anyone selling anything, they were giving coupons. So, I mean, you are talking hundreds of millions and billions of dollars flowing out into their marketing just to get people to, you know, steal customers away from Amazons and Walmarts and things like that, other places they could shop online, eBay, TCG Player, right? And it's finally coming. It seems like it's coming to an end. Maybe they have another influx of cash, but we'll see. But I truly believe that with TikTok, that all those deals coming to an end, that is going to jumpstart this market like we haven't seen in a while. And the reason is because it stunts the growth, right? Because here's what happens. People hear about these deals. So a lot of people take advantage of the deals. Even people that don't have TikTok, even they stop buying, right? Because they're like, oh man, it's probably going to crash the market. This stuff's so cheap. It's probably getting ripped in masses. Oh, now we see the singles dropping because so much is getting ripped because it's so cheap, all these TikTok coupons. And then the other sellers and LGSs, they don't know what to do because they can't compete. So they got to start dropping their prices and they're not making any money. And it's kind of a snowball effect what TikTok really did to this market. And I think with that coming to an end, we're going to see people stop sitting on the sidelines. They're going to stop saying, oh, wait, there is no lower prices coming. Oh, wait, those were the low prices. And I think the market is going to start to rise. And a lot of that FOMO crowd is going to jump in now and say, oh, I waited too long. The TikTok deals are gone. Booster boxes aren't $75 and $80 anymore. It's time to get in before they become $120, $140, whatever it may be. And so I do think TikTok deals coming to an end is going to be a big factor. We already see multiple Sword and Shield sets absolutely crushing it. Chilling Rain is pushing 170 plus a box if you haven't looked. Brilliant Stars is in the mid to high 160s. Fusion Strikes very comfortably in the 150s. I mean, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest are recovering. I mean, they're in the 120s. Lost Origin might be back in the 140s by now. You know, we're seeing recovery across the board. Not only that, we're seeing the bleeding stop on Scarlet and Violet. We're no longer seeing $70, $75, $78 boxes of Scarlet Violet base. They're in the 80s again. Obsidian Flames, it's in the mid 90s, pushing $100 a box again. Paldea Evolve is remaining very strong, $95 to $100 a box. Paradox Rift is still brand new, so that's still pretty low. You can probably find that in the 80s or low 90s still. 151's dropped because of all the reprints they have in the 151 ETBs and UPCs, but the TikTok deals are gone. So now those UPCs, they're going to be $83, $85, you know, $90 again. The ETBs looks like they're going to bottom out in the low to mid 40s. And so, yeah, I mean, I think overall the market is, and I know, like, I'm going to get made fun of this, but here's the thing, guys. In this community, not just this community, in all of any type of investing, anytime you're predicting anything, it's a lose-lose situation because you're going to have if I say one thing, right? And this is the reason why a lot of people you see online, they like to sit the fence. They don't ever like to give a definite yes or no. They kind of just like weasel around the issues. They don't ever like to give a concrete statement. It's because, one, they're afraid of being wrong. Two, some of them don't want to sway people one way or the other, and or have like an impact in the market, whatever it may be. Guys, you know what you get here. I'm gonna give you it straight. I'm not gonna hold anything back. I'm gonna give you my opinions, and guess what? Sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they're right. Luckily, a lot of times they've been right. I know we were talking in Discord about that Pokemon TCG Classic Collection. Guys, I made a video about that when it was on pre-release. I told everyone, don't FOMO into this. This item sucks. And everyone was like, oh, Alex, you're wrong. It's so limited. Oh, it's got the base trio. It's got the different designs and artworks. Everyone's going to love it. It's going to go to 4, 5, 6, 7, 800. And I said, guys, this product sucks. It should be a $100 product. Don't buy it. Maybe there's a really quick grading play. But other than that, there's not much opportunity there. And what do we see? Those boxes, they're not selling. They're sitting on shelves. My local card shop said they haven't sold one in store, and they have them listed at $350 in store. I mean, they're trying to sell them on eBay and stuff for like $330s, $320s. And then now there's supposed to be more coming. I wouldn't be surprised to see those drop in the $200s. It's just not a good product. It's overpriced, and there's not a lot of opportunity there, in my opinion. What else have I talked about like in the past that I got heat for? Oh, the Charizard UPCs, right? Here's the great part about the Charizard UPC. I got heat when they came out and said this is not a good product. It doesn't make any sense. It's a bunch of random Charizard arts with a bunch of random packs thrown in Lost Origin era. Like it didn't make any sense. And I said, don't be buying these 120, 140, 150 a box. It's not worth it. But then, and I got heat for it. Everyone said I was an idiot and whatever. But then they dropped. I was right. They dropped in like the 70s and 80s. And then I jumped on and said, guys, now's the time. If you really want to buy this product, now is the time. Now it's finally dipped to a point where it actually makes sense to buy because of the value inside. And then I got heat then saying, oh my God, that product's dead. Alex is trying to push dead stuff, all this. And it's like, my point of all this is you literally can't say a single thing online without having people bash you on one side or the other, right? And so if I come out and say 2024 is going to be a bull run market, I truly believe that. I believe with the TikTok ending, with people finally starting to put their money to work, with people seeing a lot of these Sword and Shield gains, seeing a lot of these, a lot of the singles like drop in the last 3 months. They're still up for a lot for the year, but they're dropping. I think a lot of money is continuing to go to work in this market. And as people see success, it kind of draws in more people that want to see success, and it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so, yeah, I think 2024 is going to be a bull market. I think we're going to see a lot of investments appreciate. I think we'll see some Sword and Shield boxes push $200 a box, all that stuff. Now, you're going to have people say, Alex, you're shilling your own stuff. Yeah, I own Modern Sealed. I'm not lying. I've never been secretive about that. But here's the thing. It's like, if I come out on the other side and say, I don't see it going well, all people say, Alex, you're talking against your own stuff. Why are you trying to crash the market? Are you trying to pick more up? And it's just like, I think this is why people like to sit the fence so they don't get attacked from their side. I just don't care about getting attacked. I'm going to tell you what I think. Yeah, I think we're in for a bull market. Yeah, I still think, which I said before, I think Chilling Reign will be the next box to hit $200 a box in all of Sword and Shield, right? We had Evolving Skies, we had Base, and we had Rebel Clash. I think Chilling Reign's next. I think probably Brilliant Stars may follow, and then it'll be a race between Fusion, Lost Origin that'll hit that next. I think those are the first 3-4 sets. They're going to hit $200 a box. Maybe they do it in 2024. I think a couple of them will. Maybe they don't. I think Evolving Skies, I was wrong about that. I thought Evolving Skies would be at 500 by now. It looks like it's still in the mid fours. I think it'll be 500, no doubt, by next year. In my last video, I showed all the single cards and how well they're doing. Yeah, they're not doing good in the last 3 months, but overall they're doing great. So I think a lot of people might want to pick those up, seeing that they are down. Could be wrong about that though. But yeah, as far as like the sealed investing, guys, it's a broken record. It worked 8 years ago. It worked 5 years ago. It worked 3 years ago. It worked last year. And guess what? It's still going to work next year. As many people say everything's overprinted and the demand's dying and no one wants it and blah, blah, and everyone's doing it now. Guys, I've heard this every step of the way. I mean, I have heard this for at least 5 years. I had people telling me that in online forums with evolutions, right? I've talked about it before, E4. I've had people like crucify me for that. Like, tell me I was like the dumbest person in the world type things when I was putting away cases of evolutions and saying this is gonna rock and roll in the future. Heard it again in Sun and Moon, right? It's over. Secret's out. Rudy's got a YouTube channel. Everyone's talking about it. Secret's out. Hidden Fates, right? By that time, everyone's come back in the hobby. Everyone's already got sealed product put away. It's definitely over. Then the pandemic happened. All the fallout from that. Now it's 100% over. And then in 2022, we're still being told it's over. Then this year, right? And it's just like this. It's like Groundhog Day. You wake up every day. The same people are always saying it's over. Be fear. Don't invest. You got the same bearish voices on their bearish channels talking about all these other hobbies or all these other collectibles, these other industries and how they try to correlate them to Pokemon. Like, this is Beanie Babies 2.0. This is, look at sports cards, look at antiques, look at all these hobbies from 100 years ago. It's like, it's not even comparable, but I do appreciate the effort of them trying to compare it, trying to deter their audience away from it. But how many years, like how many months and years do those people have to be wrong to finally concede and say, we were wrong? We'll throw up the white flag. I mean, we've been saying this for 5 years now. At some point, we got to say, you know what? We're wrong. Pokemon's here to stay. It is investable. You can make money on it. I don't know. I really don't know how much longer it's going to take. I mean, but that's the great thing about those bearish people is they have that same argument from day one. All they have to say is the future, the boogeyman of the future. It's going to get you. It's coming. We don't know when. It could be next year. It could be in 5 years. It could be in 100 years. But that boogeyman, he's waiting and he's going to get you. It's like, all right. I mean, can he present himself soon? Because I'm really not seeing it, guys. And here's the other thing. By the time in this mythological date with this mythological boogeyman that ever does come and destroy the Pokemon hobby, how many gains have we all made? Like in the time it takes to get there, right? It's like right now, I've made so much more on this hobby than the amount of product that I hold right now. So like I've profited more off this hobby than what I hold. So even if the stuff got cut in half overnight, I still won. Even if it went to zero, I still won. If it keeps going, I continue to win even more. So it's just like you have to ask yourself, like, what's more dangerous? Not getting involved or waiting longer? Because every year you don't get involved, you hear the same people, right? I mean, you guys have seen it in the chat. You hear the same stuff. I wish I'd have got in sooner. I wish I would have found Pokemon back in whenever. And it's like, well, you found it now. Like there's going to be people in 3 to 5 years saying, I wish I found Pokemon back in Scarlet and Violet. I wish I got in at 151, right? I mean, we're hearing the same people say, I wish I got in at Evolving Skies. I wish I got in at Hidden Fates. I wish I got in at Evolutions. I wish I got in when Pokemon Go, the game came out. Like, it's just like you hear the same stuff and you see the same patterns over and over. And you get to the point where you're just like, yep, I've seen this happen again. It's all just kind of par for the course. Yep, go about your business. And so, yes, Pokemon Steel investing is going nowhere. All right, other ways making money in 2024. Grading. Been a lot of negativity towards grading, right? People have been saying the margins are disappeared. You can't find mint cards, and they're not selling. Like slabs aren't selling as well. Well, I'll give you my opinion again. A lot of people don't like me for this. Put your cards in the right freaking slabs. I said it. Put your cards in the right freaking slabs, right? Put them in a PSA slab. Stop trying to, get too cute with it and try to like have all these, we need a grading company to compete with PSA. We need to support things like CGC. CGC sucks, right? It sucks. I mean, there are sites right now that they're like bulk sites where you can trade in your bulk cards that are, guess how much they're paying for a CGC slab? $250. If you want to trade in your bulk CGC slabs, they believe they're worth $250 any grade. And guys, you see it across the board. Like, I mean, you can look up the data. I mean, the amount of sales on CGC slabs is minuscule to PSA. The ones that do sell for a fraction. You can say some of the pristines go higher, but they're so much harder to get. So why would you grade? And, it makes sense going for a black label because those always sell exponentially more than a PSA 10, even though they're hard to get. Why would you go after a pristine 10 when it's harder to get, but then has a very little multiple over a PSA 10? And then if you miss the pristine and get the gem mint, you lose. You waste your money, you waste your time, you lost. And it's just, and then Beckett the same way. Like Beckett, that's rolling the dice. That's playing the lottery. That is going for those moonshot black labels. And yeah, if you hit a few, you're going to make out like a bandit. But I mean, it's playing roulette, guys. Like that's what it is. It's not like a tried and true proven method to always be able to profit. If you're a great pre-grader and you've been doing this a long time, get a little lucky. A lot of times it's going to work a lot better with Japanese cards. They're a lot better quality, but it's very hard to get black labels on a lot of cards. And so odds are you're going to end up with a lot of 9.5s and 9s, which are basically worthless when it can compare to like PSA 9s or PSA 10s. And so that's my advice. And you can hate me for it. You can say I'm wrong, but I always say put your cards in the right slabs and they'll sell. I have no problem selling slabs. Every single day I wake up, I have slab sales. I literally got cards back from PSA this week. I listed a bunch of them. Multiple of them sold day of, day after, and some of them weren't even lowest market. And so stuff's moving. Like stuff's moving. The grading is very much still play. There's mint cards. I'm going to show you some examples in a second because I like to be completely transparent. I'll show you some of my plays. There's cards on TCG Player that grade. There's cards on eBay that grade. Your local card shops and local shows is going to be your best bet. I mean, my local card shop. This is you're gonna love this. My local card shop grades themselves. They're actually now an official like middleman. You can give them your cards to grade for you, but they have a lot of slabs themselves, and they even tell me, yeah, we do go through the cases and we do grade ourselves. I don't know who their grader is, but he doesn't pick them all out because the amount of money that I've made off my local card shops, buying mint cards and grading them. I think my PSA 10 rate is like 95, like 98% 10s because obviously you can look at them in person. Like every card I buy from the card shops near me, I get a 10 and they sell them, at TCG Player near mint pricing. And then if you buy a good amount, they know me, I usually get them under like a 10% or something discount. So I'm getting under market price PSA 10 gem mint cards, able to grade them. So there's money to be made in grading. The cards still sell. I turn over my inventory very quickly. Again, Make sure you're grading with the right companies. Make sure you're buying the right cards. I get people want, if you really like certain vintage or mid-era or obscure Pokemon, I get you like them, but most other people don't. So make sure you're going after the cards that people want, the rarities people want, the Pokemon people want. As long as you're doing that, the cards will sell. The people with dead inventory, they're the ones trying to get too cute with it. They're trying to do some off the wall weird TCGs or real old stuff that barely anyone knows about and trying to get these moonshots and they're trying all this real like intricate niche stuff and it's like, man, just keep it simple, stupid. Just keep it simple. Just go after the Charizards and the Mewtwo's and the Mews and the Garatinas and the Pikachus and the Gengars and anyone else. Go after the major Pokemon. Go after some of the best hits in the set. Right? Go after the cards that have high probabilities of getting 10s, so you're not getting a bunch of 9s and 8s. And source them, take the time to source them, send them in. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. As far as the singles go, obviously the single markets moves too. So if you don't even want to grade them, you can just stock up on singles. That's an option. I mean, what else am I thinking of? Like, there's been opportunities this year to break down products, right? If you want to take the time to do that. 151 UPCs. For a while there, I was selling the 3 promos inside there for $25 a piece. At the same time, the packs were going for about $6 a piece, meaning you could open the UPCs, you get $6 times 16 packs, you get $25 for the cards. There was just margin to be made there all over the place, especially when they were cheap. And so, there's always opportunities to break down products. Guys, there's a lot of people wanting to get out right now because they're believing the madness that is everything's crashing and things aren't good. So there's a lot of collections to buy. You can take time doing that. There's literally opportunity across the board right now. I'm more bullish than ever going into 2024. Are there things to be negative about? Sure. I don't think it's anywhere near a glass half empty type thing, right? It's not like a glass half empty, glass type full, top or half full. I think it's like a glass 80% full and it's like 20% empty. That's how I see this market. I mean, there's obviously little things to be negative about here and there with Pokemon or with the markets and things like that. But man, I don't see, maybe it's because I stay out of a lot of the negative channels. I stay away from the drama channels. Maybe it's because I just don't even pay attention to the BS, but I don't get it. I don't see what everyone else is seeing. My sales are good. My sealed product's moving. Seems like all of you guys are having a good time. Every time like my comment sections, my live streams, I see probably 95, 98, 99% positive. And the other 1%, 2%, 3%, they're the crazies. They're negative. Everything's crashing, get out while you can type thing, hate on me, whatever. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell everyone that isn't bullish. But I'm going to jump in the chat in a second. Let's do the giveaway. Everyone here for the Charizard giveaway. Let's do it. 20 minutes in, I feel like it's a good time. So, all right, guys, you know how this works, right? Random comment picker, no BS. Go into the video. This was the video, right? Remember, you had to follow Low Poppin' on his Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. This video is sponsored by Low Popping, so make sure to check him out. They always got new inventory coming in. They do buy, sell, or trade with you. So video sponsored by Low Poppin'. As long as you did those things and you commented on this video, you are in. So we have 242 total comments, but that's not that many because it counts anything I replied to. It counts anyone commented twice. So we're going to copy the link, put it in the random comment picker video. We're going to filter out duplicate users. Told you, one chance. And we got to go ahead and answer that question. Get the comments. What do we got? Sorry, something went wrong. No. What went wrong? Oh, come on. Hold, please. Hold, please. That'd be great if the random comment picker broke on me, wouldn't it? All right. What are we doing? What is going on? All right, hold on. Don't worry, guys. We're doing it live on stream. I'm not hiding anything from you. I've used this every single time we did a giveaway. I don't know why it's having issues now. All right. So, all right, copy this. Paste it. Filter duplicate users. Answer this little question. Get comments. Here we go. 221 unique comments. 221, guys. So you have a 1 in 221 chance to win. Let me show it all. I got to show it off. The PSA 10 Evolutions Reverse Holo Charizard. Remember, if you do get chosen, all you got to do, reach out to me, nostalgianomics@gmail.com. Send me a screenshot. It's your account. Send me your shipping information. You get the card sent to you free of charge. Make sure you reach out. This is the 4th time we're trying this. Good luck, everyone, and Godspeed. Darth Raider, random comment winner. Dude, you're it. I think because you said random comment winner, put the trophy, you got it. So Darth Raider, if you're in here, man, reach out. If you're seeing this after the fact, reach out. Do not make me have to do this again. Darth Raider, congratulations on winning the Charizard. He's in here. Hey, Darth Raider's in here. Congrats, man. It looks like we finally gave it away. The Charizard is yours, man. Oh, I'm glad that's over. I did not want to do that a 5th time. Oh, my gosh. All right. Good to hear. Finally get to give it away to somebody. Thank Low Popping, everyone. Darth Raider, thank Low Popping for that. It's courtesy of him. Make sure you, what was I going to say? Make sure you email me all the information and everything, your shipping information and your proof that it's your account with a screenshot, and I'll get it sent out to you, man. It's all yours. All right, guys. Am I still here? We good? All right, we're good. All right. All right, let's please see what everyone's saying in the old chat. All right, Punch Jump Kicks always here. What's up? Got Andrew in here, Agent Crypto. Kevin said, Alex, still here, won't quit. Pokemon is now clearly a solid way to increase your wealth. Like you said in the last video, poor people will quit and we will win. Yeah, you know, it's sad. It's sad. Like, it's really weird how the lower income individuals, and it makes sense, right? Because they have less, they have less money, less, whatever. And they make less. So they have to take less risks, right? And they can't afford to take those risks. And so, it's just kind of one of those scenarios is like the rich get richer type thing, is because, anyone who does have disposable income, who does have a little extra money, as long as you stay the course with investing, like 9 times out of 10, it works out well. It just does. I mean, through all the ups and the downs and the market crashes, over the long run, things just consistently move higher. And it is kind of sad like that, it's usually the middle class and the lower class in the US and really across the world that they're the ones that are most manipulated by the news, right? And by the doom and gloom, the market crash, the all the rumors of things going on around the world, like worried about the elections and the presidents, and they're always worried about everything, and it paralyzes them, right? It puts them in like a state of fear. They're afraid to move. Someone like take the money out of the bank, right? And they'll put it in like a safe, or they'll put it in cash, or like doomsday prep. It's like, and the people who don't get all afraid and freak out and just stay the course and continue to put their money to work, continue to let their assets sit where they're at. 9 times out of 10, probably 99 times out of 100, they're the ones that end up better in the long run. And it sucks for the people that don't, but hey, it is what it is. Like, you can hate on it all you want. It doesn't stop it from going up. My favorite part is when he starts reading the comments light years behind. Yeah, always. It's because like I go back and try to catch up, but you guys keep commenting. It's impossible. It's impossible. You got to do your research. Look at Darth Raider. He was in here like criticizing me, and then he wins. How about that? Because some PSA cards are going for more than CDC, the Center of Disease Control cards. And some CGC cards are going for more than PSA. Depends on the card. Yeah, but it's only some. It's some of the pristines, right? I don't think I've seen any CGC 10s go for more than PSA 10s. It's only the pristine 10s, and the pristine 10s are admittedly harder to get than a PSA 10, right? They're harder to grade, and so why would you chase something that's harder to grade when only some of those end up being more than the PSA 10? Like, if you're gonna try to chase a hard grade, why not go with the Beckett Black Label when those are exponentially higher than a PSA 10? It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? And also the customer base for CGC is much lower. So it's going to be hard. It's less liquid to actually move. Do you think Obsidian Flames or Paldean Fates will get any value over time with those horrible Charizard arts? I'm not a fan of Paldean Fates at all. Here's the thing, guys. Like, Shining Fates, I get it. It did have a blip up, but I think that was more because of like the end of the pandemic times. Look, the bad specialty sets, they don't move. Like, even bad booster box sets, they usually still move. It's just ETBs. They're usually, it's a small portion of individuals that even go after the specialty sets that want the ETBs. A lot more people collect all the booster boxes. And so, I'm not a fan of putting a large amount of money in specialty sets as it is. I did with Celebrations because I believe in it. I'm probably going to put a good amount in 151. But as far as like, Pokemon Go, I thought was going to be a stomp, but it wasn't. But as far as like some of these specialty sets, especially when they're lackluster, this isn't a Crown Zenith. This isn't a 151. This isn't a Celebrations. I'm not super bullish on it. Look, of course, all the big popular YouTubers, they got to pump it up because they got to do their openings and get people to watch, right? And then, all the people who have stores, and online sell, they got to pump it up. They got to try to get you to buy the product and all that. So I get it. Everyone's doing their jobs. Like, I'm not against anyone doing their jobs. But I wouldn't waste your time or money jumping into that. There's way too much out there to buy right now. Why would you go putting money in that? A product that comes out, which is already lackluster, and then products already take a while to age, 1.5, 2 years, sometimes more. It's not a smart move in my opinion. Happy New Year, everybody. Michigan Pokey, Happy New Year. Jason's in here. What's up, man? It's over, man. Oh my God, bro. Pokemon did so much good damage in 2016 to 2022. It ain't ever over now. Good damage. I like that. Good damage. Let's see. Treyo's in here. I say it right that time. Treyo. What's up, man? Treyo keeps the Discord entertained daily. If you guys aren't in there. Trump 2024 or no bull run. Yeah, it's gonna be wild this election year. I mean, it's really crazy. Here's what's so crazy about it. And this is not to like get political and stuff, but it is strange. I've had people from Japan, Australia, the UK, like, Britain, like other places in Europe, Canada, all say like it's certain different situations, whether it be like Discord or we're talking on Instagram or whatever it may be, tell me like, yeah, Trump really needs to win this year. I'm like, dude, you live halfway around the world. Like, you really care? Oh yeah. Everyone in our country, we all pay attention to the U.S. and their elections. Like, oh man, Trump's got to get, it's crazy. Like the entire world. I mean, obviously everyone in each country has their own political views, but it's crazy. Like the amount of people that I've talked to that live all over the world, all like are thinking Trump needs to win. It's like, man, it just goes to show how bad Biden's doing and how like the world perceives it. It's pretty insane. It's pretty insane. Sell some of your cards that wouldn't grade well. Use that cash, start grading your gem cards, sell those graded, repeat. Yeah, absolutely. He laid it out perfect right there. The boring channel. I mean, that pretty much says it, right? Just the boring way to make money in this hobby. Personal opinion, would you still grade a hyper rare alt art even if you know it won't be a 10? I wouldn't, personally. I wouldn't. Here's the thing, like you mean like there's no way to like really know. Like, I guess there's a way to know, but I'll definitely send cards in that are borderline. Like if it's a little off center or if it's got maybe like one, maybe two white marks, like I'll send it in just in because sometimes those do pass. But like if I look at the card and it's got like multiple white marks or scratches or whatever, I'm not going to send that card now. No bull run. Market is at all-time highs right now under Biden. Go buy some NFTs. NFTs. How do you feel about selling on golden straight from PSA vault versus shipping on eBay? Never done it. I've never used any vault services. I've never used any consignment services. I do everything myself, so I couldn't even speak on that stuff. How about the next time winner has to be live so it finally gets claimed? They were live, so we did it. We did it. He's live. Darth Raider's here. We did it. We're done, man. Jeez. I'm glad that saga is over. Alex, would you sell 151 booster bundles right now for 50 to 100% gain? Yes. Things to consider. Will there be more stock? You would think so because of its popularity. Every specialty set in history, I think, that I can remember got more stock. Celebrations got more stock. Everything got more stock at one point. Maybe it doesn't, you know. It's really hard to tell. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Like, when you're moving in an investment, if you make 100% in like 2 years, 3 years, that's a good investment. If you can make 100% on something in 2-3 months, why wouldn't you? What are you doing? Like, it's just, at that point, it's just getting greedy. You know, if it's just something where you're like, you really believe in, like you think Evolving Skies is going to be the next, you know, team up. I get it. If you think 151 is going to be the next Hidden Fates and go to, you know, $150, $200 of ETB, then yeah, I get it. But on average, on average investment, if you're up 100%, it doesn't matter if it takes a month, a year, or 3 years. Yeah, I'm always okay taking 100% gains. Do you like cases of CZ ETB, for example, or just ETB or BB? So yeah, Crown Zenith, I definitely picked up some cases of Crown Zenith. I think the set's strong enough. It's in the 30s right now. The amount of it that gets open, the amount that set is loved. It's just one of those things where it's not that I think it's going to be like a home run and run to $100 on ETB anytime soon. But I do think before long, maybe in 2024, it's probably going to get back in the 50s and 60s. And again, that's like anywhere from a 75 to 100% return. I'm cool with that, right? I'm cool with that. And so when I see those kind of opportunities at those low prices where, guys, when you can find those ETBs in the low 30s, we've almost never had specialty sets drop under $30. And if they have, it was for a blip in time. The downside risk is basically not even there. It's basically zero downside risk at that point. And so when there's no downside risk and only upside potential, those are the investments I like to jump into. So yeah, I definitely jumped into some Crown Zenith ETBs. Crown Zenith ETB, good at rates, just hate breaking product down, so space anymore. I take a lot of the profits and invest again. Is the problem storage full again? Yeah, it's a good problem to have, though. Having too much product, your storage is full. Why is there so much negativity in the hobby? It's literally a card game made for kids. It's supposed to be fun. I don't know. I really don't know. Well, here, some people have built their channels around it, right? I'm not going to name names. You know who they are. They've built their channels around just like, going off on people and tearing people down, and or like what they like to say, exposing people, exposing the cheats and the scams. And here's the thing. It's like, there's a place for that, but it shouldn't be your whole content because there's not enough of it going. I've talked about this before. There's not enough scams and cheats and thieves and stuff going on in this hobby to make a full-time channel about it. So what happens is you start adding in a lot of your own opinions, your own biases. A lot of it's like real, circumstantial type evidence. There's not a lot of real concrete. So everyone's has to make their own mind up, but the creators have to make content every day to make it seem like they found something out, or they really did some detective work. And then other creators, they just straight like being hateful. They like to just hate on people, talk down people, expose them, like go find people to hate on. And that's just their whole content, right? And that's what their audience wants. And so they found a niche where there's enough just like angry, sad, miserable people that just like to get online and hate on people, and they bring them the views. And so they thought, oh, hey, I'm getting views. My channel subscribers are growing. I'm going to keep doing this. And so, hey, more power to them. That's what they want to do. And then the other negativity side comes from people. And this is not Pokemon. This is the world. People don't like other people making money. Do you notice that? Like, a lot of the like online gurus will talk about this, and it's true, right? Like on the rise, right? When you're on the rise up, everyone's rooting for you, right? Your family's rooting for your friends, like other people, like, oh yeah, let's support small business, right? You always hear that, support small business. But as soon as you cross that line into big business, right? And now you got some employees, right? You got, maybe 50 employees, and now you're making millions, and now you're doing good. Now you're hated, right? Now you're one of those rich guys. Oh yeah, they're all evil. Once you get a certain amount of money, that's where you become evil. Up until then, you're a good person. Once you get this amount of money, you immediately change to an evil person. That's the society we live in. It probably has a lot to do with, the colleges and a lot of the schooling and how we're all like being taught to hate, wealthy and socialism and all that. It's very strange. So I think that's part of the reason of the hobby. People don't like when people make money. People do not like it that you can store sealed product and over time it rises in value, and then you can sell it for a profit in the future. They don't like that. Like, people just don't like it. It is what it is, right? People don't like that people can buy out 100 or 200 copies of a card, hold it, and then the card goes up in value, and then they sell it back on the market for a profit. People don't like that, right? Some people don't like grading. They don't like the fact that, you can put a card in a piece of plastic, and then because that piece of plastic has a certain grading company and a certain number on it, it means you made this much profit. They don't like it, right? And there's just a lot of people, kind of like Rudy Alpha Investments talks about, the game piece era. Like, there are a large group of people who think these should all just be kid toys. Oh, they're kid toys. Just kids should be able to play them. They're just kid toys. And there's just a large amount of people who just don't want people to make money. And so that's where a lot of the drama comes from, and the negativity is people mad at people making money, and mad at things being too expensive because now the players and the collectors can't afford it. The kids can't open it. And it's just, it's just differences of opinions, right? There's differences of opinions, and that's where the negativity comes from in the hobby. And then I think the other part, the last negativity comes from, people just don't believe in this stuff, right? Like, there's a lot of people that, and it blows my mind that they have to come to like my channel or other channels just to tell you, just to say, hey, I don't believe in this. It's all going to zero. You guys are all stupid. And I make the whole, I say all the time, like, well, that'd be like me, like right now on stream. I can do it on stream. Why don't I just go to some random crypto channel or some random Lego investing channel or an antique channel or a collectible car channel? I'll just go to these random channels and go in there and be like, this is so stupid. You guys are idiots. This is all going to zero. No one wants this stuff. It's like, okay, like, why do people feel the need to do that? It's like, if you're not interested in, I don't go watch all these other subjects online that I have no interest in. Like, if you're not interested in Pokemon and you don't believe in it as an investment, why are you on a Pokemon investing channel? It blows my mind. And here's the thing. It's like, people will say, well, Alex, you need to get thicker skin. I got the thickest skin in the world. It doesn't bother me. I'm asking, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're free to do it. I don't delete comments. I don't ban anyone from my Discord. You can say whatever ignorant BS you want to me. It's fine. But it just doesn't make sense on why people waste their time doing that. Like, you're obviously not going to change the opinion of anyone here by saying everything's crashing, it's over, no one's going to want this stuff in the future, everyone's doing, like, you're not going to change anyone's mind in a comment section or a Discord. And so, like, what are you doing here, right? It's just, so I think those are all the reasons for the negativity in the hobby. Any investment updates on Sword and Shield boosters from Chilling Reign? Booster boxes? Yeah, they're like $170. They're like $170 on TCG Player. It's crazy. And I think they're pushing that on eBay now too. And TikTok even. Without coupons, that's what they're going for. It's crazy. High 160s, low 170s. Since Darth Raider said CGC is better than PSA, I would send him a CGC 10 instead of a PSA 10. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's so funny. Pokey Grinding, what is up, man? I actually got to meet Pokey Grinding in person at the local card show. It's good meeting you, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate the super sticker. Hey, Darth Raider became a member. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Speaking of memberships, pack breaks are going to return in January, guys. I am going to have pack breaks coming back. This month's just been kind of crazy. Like, it's been all around nuts, just hanging, a bunch of different people, family, friends hanging out with me. My wife was off work a lot. We were doing a lot of stuff together. I mean, I let everything go. I know my channel hasn't been posting a lot. I mean, I haven't been in the gym as much as I should. I haven't been eating as good as I should. Like, I am ready to get back on track. So, yeah, we're going to bring back everything. Content's going to get regular again. You got my word on that. I'm not going to pull an Eli from Pokemart USA. I was just on the phone with Eli earlier today. We were talking. By the way, shout out, our podcast on his channel starts this Tuesday. So this Tuesday on Pokemart USA's channel, me and him will start our podcast. It'll be a live podcast weekly. But we were just talking on the phone before this. Like, it's so funny the hate you get in this community. It's like, you stop posting, you get hated on for forgetting your community. You post too much, and people will say, "Oh, you're just trying to get views. It's a bunch of filler content. This is not, the content isn't as good as it used to be." And it's like, there's no way to win with a lot of folks. So it's just like, man, I just try to ignore it and move on at this point. Jason says, only good thing about Paldean Fates is that the crap Pokemon are removed and put into collector boxes and tins. The SSRs there will be less, which is the problem. The rest of the set is all right. I mean, I think that last word right there is my problem with it, Jason. It's all right, right? It's all right. It's not terrible, right? It's not like it's not gonna be the worst thing in the world. It's just all right. Like, I don't think there's anything that like really makes people say, "Oh, I gotta open this," right? It's not a 151 situation where I feel like people are gonna rush through the stores to open Paldean Fates. It's just kind of like all right, it's a new set. It's good. It'll be a midline set in the era, type thing. It's just nothing really gets me going with that set type thing. Thoughts on Dragon Ball Fusion? Yeah, I have no clue. Man, I'm just hoping Bandai figures their stuff out and continues to do good with One Piece, because they destroy everything else. I mean, my personal opinion, I don't think it's going to make it. Dragon Ball Fusion, that is. I think they've tried too many times. Like, you can only try something so many times. It's just like Digimon. Digimon tried card games multiple times. Dragon Ball's got a great IP. I love Dragon Ball. I mean, you guys know my closet. I have every cut version, every uncut version, VHS ever released. I got all the DVDs, the Dragon Ball. I got everything. I love it. Watched it all the time as a kid. But you can only try things so many times. They tried with the Dragon Ball Z, fizzled out. They tried with Super, fizzled out. And they're going to try this. Like, it's just too many Dragon Ball TCGs, and people are eventually it's just too much, and people just kind of like write it off. Like, oh, here's this again. It's going to be new. It's going to have too much power creep, and it's going to end up going out like everything else. So I don't have the highest of hopes, but you never know. I need real content, not garbage. Wait, Pika Papa's in here? Is Pika Papa? I didn't see him in here. Huh. Did I miss him? I don't think I saw him. Let's see. Unless he's under a different username, which I don't know. Trump was a failure of epic proportions. Yeah, that's your politics are showing there, because that's definitely not the truth. I mean, it's like, I mean, you guys probably know by now. Of course, I voted for Trump. But like to say that is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I look back at presidents we've had in our lifetime, and not all of them I've liked, but like, you know, there's things about like, you know, Bill Clinton that did good things for the company. There's things about Obama that he did for the country that were good. Like, I mean, I can, you know, I'm not one of those people that like is like the crazy right or left. Like, I try to be pretty fair in like judging what's going on and like their decisions they made and why they made them, and you know I don't know, the reasoning behind, you know, the way people feel about certain issues. And I see both ways. Like, it's not like I hate anyone either way. It's just to like come out and say something like Trump was a failure. Like, there's so many things he did that were successful in the nation and that were successful with like foreign, you know, policy. And it's just to say something like that, it's just like such a one-sided statement. It's crazy. Now this is the truth. The problem is, right, they always squeeze out the other candidates. Like they squeeze out the young people and the ones who are, it's kind of crazy what we do here with the elections. Like, it's just, you know, it's kind of like the old like a company, right? Working your way up in the company and becoming CEO, right? It's why like most CEOs are all in their 50s and 60s, because you had to pay your dues. Like, they want all the political candidates to all get in and pay their dues in the parties and work their way up until, you know, they get the chance to become president. It's just such a weird system like they've built where, you know, they don't want any young people with fresh ideas to rise up in this country. It's very strange. Very strange. Everyone just likes the status quo. All the Congress people just want to take their free money from their lobbyists and their inside stock deals and get fat and happy and let all of us suffer. So that's where we're at. Guys, I'm not going to go any deeper on the Trump, Biden, Justin Trudeau, like all that. I'm not getting. I've said enough about politics to get hated enough for one video. So I'll let all that hate dissipate, and then, you know, we'll do more in the future. What color's your Bugatti? I have high hopes for Fusion Strike, but I'm also biased and love Psychic. No, I do too. I mean, Gengar Mew, like, it's a great set. Having an Espeon in there. I agree. I think the only thing I think is Chilling Reigns a little deeper. It's got more hits. It's got more chases, like more peak. But yeah, I think like Gengar, Espeon, Mew, those are stronger hits. So it's going to do well also. Like that, I think Chilling, Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, and Lost Origin, those are going to be the next $200 boxes. I don't know which one. I still think Chilling Reigns probably going to get there first, but I think they're all going to get there. Let's see. We've got some very liberal people in the chat that are trying to egg me on to talk about politics. It's just not going to happen. Sorry, the boring channel. I understand you're very set in your ways, and I'm not going to try to go toe-to-toe with you on anything, man. Honestly, I don't really, anyone who's like super one way or the other, I try not to even talk to, because you're not even going to, neither one of you is going to get through to each other. It's just a waste of time. And so it's just like, why even bother? I think the problem is when a person dissociates themselves from the business once that point starts to happen and they don't care about anything. Oh, this is back when I was talking about the rich people being evil. Yeah, I mean, I understand once you get big enough, you do stuff. But I mean, even like, here's my thing. Even like people who are still 100% involved, like you see it with streamers and YouTubers. It's like everyone likes them. Then when they become too big, they get like the most hate ever. And everyone wants them to like fail. Like, guys, I came up in the time when Leonhardt was a nobody. I was watching Leonhardt when he had sub 10,000 subscribers. Yeah. When he was like, I think his channel was a different name. It was like Leonhardt 54 or something. I don't know. He had a different channel name back in the day. Like, and everyone loved him up until recently. And then, got too big, got all the hate. Everyone hates him. It's like, not everyone, but, a lot of people started to, trash on them. And, it happens in like Twitch streamers. The same thing happens to, they get too big and everyone doesn't like them. You see it in sports, right? Like, when someone's new and fresh, they're doing good, but then like, they start aging and like other new people come up and then they're not hitting like the perfect numbers. Everyone starts hating on them and piling on. It's like, you see it with anyone who gets any level of money or any level of success. Like once you start getting a certain level, people just start hating on you for it. And it is what it is. It comes with the territory, right? It's the game. They love you first. They hate you next. I did announce the winner. He is Darth Raider. He's in the chat and he's taking it. We're finally done with the Charizard giveaway scenario. I've never had so much trouble giving away a card before. It's amazing. Darth Raider, he's pleading his case. I never said CGC was better. I said some cards are worth more than a CGC than PSA, vice versa. Yeah, absolutely. But the one, and like I said, the ones that are worth more are pristines. None of the Gem Mint 10s, I believe, are ever worth more. And so what you're doing is you're taking a huge risk of trying to get a pristine where it's much harder to get than a PSA 10. And then when you do take that risk and it pays off, even if it's worth more than the PSA 10, it's usually not a huge margin. And so it's like, what's the point? Like take a more risk to get a grade that doesn't even pay off as much as like a black label would. It's like, it doesn't resonate. And then all the ones that don't hit that pristine, they get the Gem Mint 10, they sell less than PSA. And then on the top of that, CDC it's a weaker, it sells less. It's more illiquid. Like those are, you can see that on eBay sales history data. So it's like, I just don't understand it, right? The only thing they had going for it was it came back way faster than PSA. But now, I mean, I got my recent PSA submission back in under 2 months. And so it's not, PSA is just not much longer anymore. If you really want to get it back faster, you go that $40 tier. My $40 tier cards are coming back in under 2 weeks sometimes. Like anywhere from 2-3 weeks, I get those back. And so, yeah, I just don't know. It just depends on the card. It depends on what your goals are. But I'm not a fan of it. So it is what it is. But no, I'm not saying that no CGC card in a pristine 10 is ever worth more than a PSA 10. You're right about that. Just got back into Pokemon. I thought this hobby was dying. What? I'm just giving you shit, Dave. Just got back into quite a few years, maybe like a decade, slowly learning where the money is in the game. Yeah, Dave. So honestly, buying into sealed product, right, under retail value when it comes out or when a reprint happens, that it's proven every sealed product, every sealed booster box in the history of Pokemon has all risen in value over time, but it's going to be a slow burn. Okay. If you're looking for quick money, you want to try to, find like big lots or collections, break them down, you're doing the work. So you get to, realize the profits on selling the singles individually. And then, the next step is you find perfect mint ones. You can send them in and get them graded. And when they grade high grades, it gives them another multiple on their money and you can make money doing that. So those are kind of the three main ways to make money in the hobby, whether it be quick or slow or, whichever way you want to take. Alex, what would you do if you had $3K to buy Pokemon in like 4 months to 6? What product do you think do I get? I like graded cards and booster boxes. What about other products like ETBs and blister packs? 3-pack blisters do well if they have the right promos in them. Graded cards are like lottery tickets. Some of them go to the moon and some of them, some of them stay stagnant for years, some drop. You really got to know what you're doing with graded cards. Sealed products a lot safer. But graded cards can be more exponential gains if you are good at picking them and get them right and buy at the right times at the right prices. So it's impossible to answer that question because I don't know what your financial situation is. I don't know what your time frame is. I don't know. I can't answer those type of crystal ball questions like buy what now? What's going to do better in the future? I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be diversified, right? If I knew, I wouldn't buy every set. I wouldn't have slabs in XY Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet Violet era. Like I wouldn't have different. I wouldn't have had One Piece. I wouldn't have I wouldn't diversify all these different things if I 100% knew what was going to happen. I just place my best bets I can, get the best prices I can at the best times, and hope for the best type thing, you know? All you can do is all you can do is all your research and due diligence, shop around, find the right prices, make deals. And the rest is, just time in the market. Y'all should become channel members. I like the way you think, Darth Raider. I appreciate that, man. Alex, are you cut or are you uncut? Right now, man, I am uncut. I probably weigh about 185, 190 right now. And I usually walk around at like 170, 175 when I'm like in cut shape. And so, yeah, definitely put on that holiday weight for sure. I saw a dedicated One Piece card store game center in New Jersey yesterday. That's crazy. That's pretty crazy. It's getting to that level already. Wow. Amazing. I have never seen a single episode of One Piece either. Get Alive with Pika Pika Papa. I'm supposed to. I don't know. So I reached out to him before. He was too busy. And then he said reach back out to him after Thanksgiving. And then I got busy with the holidays and stuff. And so I we'll figure it out next year. I'll get him on the channel, guys. I'll get him on the channel. Chilling Rain 3-pack blisters. I'd have to look. I mean, at this point, I don't know. Like, maybe a little too late. I mean, it's never too late, but you know what I mean. It might not be the best prices to get into those at. Let's go ahead and try to find them real quick. Here, I'll go ahead and share the screen again. Give me a second. Okay. Present. All right, share screen. So we got the Legendary Bird Trio in that blister. That's not a 3-pack, it's a 2-pack. We got a 3-pack here with the Eevee and then a 3-pack with the Snorlax. Not bad promos. I don't know how those promos are doing right now without looking, but Eevee and Snorlax are not bad Pokemon. This Legendary Bird Trio, not bad. I mean, here's the thing. At these prices, though, 19, 17, 19. If you can get them at the right price, it's not a bad idea. Usually the way to buy these things is when people are trying to just get rid of them after release and they have like cases of them and you can buy them by the case at a huge discount. Buying in at like $20 a 3-pack blister right now, I wouldn't. So if you can find the right price, then sure. Guys, everyone's still going back and forth with Trump stuff. Gavin Newsom for president? Oh, that has to be a joke. That has to be a joke. Come on. This country, I'm not going to go there. What's your thoughts on the Lost Origin booster box? I like Lost Origin. Let's see. I haven't looked in the past like week. I know the last one's been moving a lot this week. Let's look at it. Look at that. It's in the 140s already. I mean, it was a great buy. It was a massively crazy buy when it dropped down to 120s. Now it's all the way back in the 140s. I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, you're late, right? You're late for the party. But I just said it earlier. I think it'll be $200 a box. I don't know if it'll be this year or next year. So there's gains to be made. Is it the best place to put your money? Maybe not. But there's no way, right? There's another reprint coming. So there's a good chance it's never going to be less than it is right now. So definitely if you want it for your collection, I'd pick one up, before it keeps going. And yeah, it could be a great investment. I mean, it's definitely one of the stronger sets in the era. If we look at some of the stronger sets in X, Y, and Sun and Moon, a lot of those boxes are in the, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 range. So can it get there? Absolutely. Time frame? Don't know. That's my thoughts on it. Good time. Good thing you got in early. That's awesome. Happy to hear you got in. Oh my gosh. The boring, I don't know. Here's another thing. Like, why is this boring channel guy here if he's just here to hate on Trump in the comments? Like, this isn't like a political channel. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? Hey, Alex, are you ever looking for distribution? I get decent allocations and slowing down purchases due to lack of capital. Not sure if it'll interest you to get boosters and ETBs. Yeah, Eddie, reach out. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Reach out to me on anywhere. Discord, Discord links in the description, Instagram, Nostalgianomics. And I'd love to talk to you about it for sure. I am in Eli Pokemart's Patreon right now with the getting the I do buy at distribution prices right now, but sometimes things do sell out and there's like they're limited. There's not enough to go around everyone in there. So I always like to have different options. Happy New Year to you, Brian. It's been helpful as I got into Pokemon collecting and live in a very small town with no connections for trading and buying in person. That's okay, man. It's nice to be able to trade and buy in person, but it's not like something you have to do. You can be very successful in this hobby without doing that. There's always deals out there. So don't let that discourage you or stop you, man. Alex, do you own any master sets? I opened up a super old bin of vintage that really brought back memories. I'm thinking I want to try to collect WotC sets. Has to be easier than modern. Yeah, it actually is, man. Like, especially if you're not going for like the cards in mint condition, you can actually put together those WotC binders pretty cheap. If you're okay with having like light play or little played cards that aren't like perfect, but they still look pretty nice, especially in a binder. Yeah, I mean, it's a great collection to build at not crazy cost for sure. Absolutely. I'm starting my GBA Pokemon collection. Any extras you would sell? No extras here. Sorry, I don't have any extras. Do you ever grade cards with BGS to intentionally get 9.5s, assuming you won't get a PSA 10? No, I don't do that. I don't split hairs like that far down. It's just not. It's not. I'd rather just sell the card and raw and get the money than wait months and months for Beckett to get back to me just to make a small margin. I'd rather rinse and repeat that money and get a PSA 10 quality card and send that in. It's just, it's not worth it to me because I don't want to keep any Beckett cards. I'm not a Beckett collector. And so it would just be for resale. And for the time it usually takes and the cost of Beckett, like it doesn't really make that much sense, honestly, for what you could do with that money in the meantime. Also, Alex, I would love to buy a box, but it's too expensive. I like modern more because it's affordable. Do you know why people say buy vintage instead of modern? Plus, I like the art. Why do you guys do this to me? First the Trump and Biden stuff, and now this. All right, fine. I'll talk this. This is something I don't mind talking about. All right. So, for anyone who hasn't been around in the hobby that long, vintage has been probably pumped more than anything until recent times. And the reason what happened is a lot of the largest Pokemon investor YouTubers that came up during like 2016, 17, 18 times, they were very pro vintage. And one of the reasons for that is majority of their collections or investments were in vintage. And so it was in their best interest to get the community to like vintage and to push it and talk about how much better of a investment, better of cards they were, and really push the rarities and how hard and all the stuff, all the talking points to, further their positions, grow their value, their collections. And then when they did do that at the high prices during the peak and the boom, a lot of those people sold off a large amount of their vintage investments and collections. And a lot of those YouTubers are not really making many videos. Some don't make videos at all. Some kind of just make videos here and there. And it really kind of goes to show what they were trying to do. And so in my opinion, this is all my opinion, I think vintage is great to collect, but it's been pushed so hard and so many people have bought into it and the values are so high that I no longer think it's a good investment play because there's too much downside risk even to this day. Whereas with modern, you're buying at the bottom, right? Especially when you're buying ETBs in the 30s, you're buying booster boxes in the 80s and 90s. There's so little downside risk with so much upside potential. Whereas you could argue vintage has a lot of upside potential still, right? You know, to reach their old highs and things like that. But they also have so much downside risk because just because a card drops from 10,000 to 3,000, it doesn't mean it can't go to 1,000, right? It doesn't mean it can't go to 500, right? These things can keep going. Whereas modern boxes, I've been in this hobby almost 9 years now. I've never once seen a modern box sell for under 70s. Never once. On the open market, eBay, TCG Player, without coupons or money back or eBay, any of that stuff, right? Full price. Never seen it happen, meaning $70-ish seems to be the bottom we've seen in the past 9 years on modern boxes. So you kind of have a built-in floor. Whereas vintage, yeah, they dropped a ton. You could say it's a lot better buying opportunity for a lot of those. But because a lot of those YouTubers left and aren't pumping it anymore, because that vintage, the people who actually like that are a lot smaller community than modern, it's a lot harder for those items to move. And it's also a lot less liquid than modern cards are to move because there's so many more people that want the modern cards. So for that reason, that's why I'm very pro modern. I'm sure you could hear opposite things from people who are very pro vintage. You know, they're going to talk a lot about modern cards having too high pop reports. They're going to talk a lot about modern cards being too plentiful. There's too many of them printed now. They're going to talk about like that there's going to be too many sets, so they're not going to be as significant to the hobby as some of the vintage sets are. And so they're going to have talking points as well, right? And they're legitimate talking points. They're legitimate opinions. I get it. It's just in my opinion, from everything I saw, from everything we continue to see to this day, modern continues to outperform every single year, even after the boom. And vintage has been very lackluster. Some have moved, you know, a lot of it's very stagnant. A lot of it's still dropping. And it just isn't as lucrative, in my opinion, as modern. Now, if it's for collection purposes, it's great. It's great for you. A lot of those cards, especially ungraded, very cheap. You can put binders together, enjoy your collection. I still love vintage. It's just I don't see the financial opportunity there the same way I do in modern. So I hope that answer kind of gives you my side of things. I will get tons of heat for that one. I already know. I know what I'm getting myself into. I get it. Austin finally made a live stream. Happy to have you here, Austin. There's no deals on 151. Well, you can. I mean, what are deals, right? Like, I don't know. You know, and you can find UPCs in the low 80s, right? Which is, I think it's a deal. You could find ETBs. I think by the case, they're selling in the low 40s, like maybe 420, 430 a case still. So I think that's a deal. I guess it depends on what you consider a deal. What are we talking about? I'm trying to follow along in the chat. Someone's saying like that's not what he was asking. I was making a joke. Like, did I take a question that wasn't a real question? I thought of it as a question. I don't know. Maybe I did. I mean, I make a lot of stupid mistakes live on stream, guys. Is what it is. It's what happens when you get me live. I can't. There's no editing. Here's the funny part, guys. You know, hold on. That's a lie. I've probably edited a couple. You know, like 99% of my videos, I've never edited once. Now, I've definitely taken multiple takes where I've had to start it over because I lost my train of thought. But when I make my videos, I don't edit them. Like I talk in front of the camera for 10 or 20 minutes at a time, and I hit stop and I post it. Like I don't ever edit. And so like the live streams are a little harder because they go for hours. So I definitely like lose my train of thought, or I definitely stumble a little bit. But yeah, I'm pretty used to just talking, 10, 20 minutes straight without much. I don't have like a script or I don't edit things or anything. So I'm kind of used to it. Man, I haven't talked to Steve in a little while. I definitely need to, though. I need to. Agree with that last video. The market isn't full-blown crashing, but it does look down. 12-17 of the Sword and Shield sets, top cards are down significant amounts. Well, okay. Significant amounts, like the Giratina is only down like 5%. That's not significant. Here, man, this is why I like live. Like, let's see what you're talking about. Let's see. All right. Sword and Shield base. See what this is. We got the Marnie, right? Marnie, where's she at? There she is. Let's see what significant amount. See, here's the thing. You can't do what the YouTubers do and be like, guys, look, it's down 3 months. You got to take a year, right? You got to take for the year. So for the year, started at 46. Now it's selling at, what's it selling right now? Lowest listing near mint is $39, $40. One sold for $39, $38. I mean, from 40s, it's down like 10, 15%. Is that significant? Like, I don't think that's significant. But again, I guess, it depends on your definition of significant. Boss's orders is up. I showed this in my video. Boss's orders is up for the year. A good amount, like 40%. $25, it's selling for like high 30s. It's up like 50, 60% for the year. So that's up. What's next? We got Vivid. Or is it dark? Vivid or Darkness? I think it's Vivid. We got Vivid Voltage with Chonkachu. Now this is down. Let's see. But not crazy. Like it was 140 and now it's one just sold for 132.98. But that's I don't know what's up with that. So maybe it had a picture with it. I don't know. So it's $100. So yeah, this is down about 40%. That's significant. I agree with you there. That is significant. So Chonkachu is definitely taking a crash. Charizard. Charizard is down from the high 30s. And now it's selling mid 20s. That one too. Vivid Voltage and Darkness Blaze are definitely taking some heat. Okay. Where do we go from there? I mean, I know it was like, I know Champions Pass in there. Shining Fates is in there. Does it go to Battle Styles after that? Am I right? I could be remembering wrong off the top of my head, but Battle Styles, look at that. The T-Tar. Get the T-Tar. I mean, what? $108. Now it's selling for like $95. Okay, like 10% down. That's not significant. Let's be honest. That's a small amount. I mean, it's kind of been up and down all year. It's not crazy. Chilling. I showed Chilling Rain in the video. This is even. This is even for the year, right? It was 160s. Now it's still selling around about 160. So pretty much even. What do we got? We got Fusion. Well, I guess Evolving is next. I don't know the exact order of the sets. I can't remember. Umbreon's up. Umbreon's up for the year, right? Started out down here. It's up here. It's up a good 10, 15%. We'll go to Fusion. I mean, you see what I'm saying though, guys? Like Jason, they're just not down. I mean, Gengar's up. Gengar's up for the year. 160s. Now it's over 200. That's like 20% up. What we got? Brilliant. We got Brilliant Stars. Now this one is Charizard's definitely getting crushed this year. I agree. 170s and now it's what, 110s. Yeah, that's a good 40%. So some of the major hits are down about 40%. I agree with you there, but it's not 12 out of the 17 sets by any means. I mean, we looked at, like I said, the Giratina in Lost Origins barely down. The Lugia is, so it's really the Lugia, the Charizard, and then like Vivid and Darkness Ablaze is really, and then I guess the Marnie. So it's like 5, right? So like 5 of the sets. The Machamp, it is, I mean, it's down, but like what, 110. Now it's going for like 90, like 20%, 15, 20. To me, man, it's just not, it doesn't seem, and here's the thing, like, I think, what about Champion's Path? I think Champion's Path is actually doing well. I think these Charizards are doing pretty good. Yeah, so like the Charizards are actually recovering in the past month or 3 months, I guess. They're actually up pretty decent. They were in the 150s. Now it's up. So the Champion's Path Charizard's recovering. It's actually higher than it was beginning of the year. And then the Charizard V it's higher than it was beginning of the year too. So like I'm not sure, man. We can look at the celebrations. See how it's doing. Is that crashing? I haven't looked at the celebrations Zard either. I mean, there's nothing there. That's stagnant. That's not a crash at all. Shining Fates. Look at Shining Fates. The old Charizard VMAX in there. It's trending down, but like 100 to like 80s, what, maybe 20%, nothing crazy. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm just not seeing it. Like, I'm not seeing this big market crash. Like, some cards are up, some are down. A lot of the ones that are down are like 2 years or less old. Anything in like Sun and Moon and XY, those are all up. A lot of Sword and Shields even up. Give it another year. I bet all these Sword and Shield sets cards will be back after they've aged a little more. I just think it's just this rhetoric going around right now, and I don't know what the meaning of it is to get people scared. I don't know. Oh yeah, guys, for anyone who's still around, we have 229 people in here. That's cool. I did want to share some plays because like show you guys what's possible. Still in this market today. So I always like to show like proof, because a lot of people don't show proof. So I always like to show proof. All right. So first up, all right. I tried to block out some of the names and stuff. This Mewtwo. All right. This is kind of what's possible, guys. I bought this Mewtwo back in May. All right. Is a PSA 9 breakthrough Mewtwo. Paid $76 for it. Okay. $76. Cracked it. Got the 10. So paid $76 for the card. Okay. And if we go look at Mewtwo right now, these are the last sold. 510 at auction. Just sold December 24th. So being able to, pre-grading cards doesn't just mean pre-grading singles. You can find this kind of plays into CGC. I did this with a PSA 9, right? And, a 400% or 500% gain. And honestly, they go for more if they're not at auction. I think I have this listed in the 600s. So I might even get more for it. But yeah, you definitely need to pre-grade your singles, right? But you can also pre-grade already graded cards and maybe try to regrade them, especially when it comes to CGC 10s, right? Crack those, get a PSA 10, have a huge margin, especially with the vintage cards. I've seen some vintage CGC 10s that go for 10 times. I'm not exaggerating, 10 times less than a PSA 10. One was like now these are very moonshot cards. I'm not telling you to go make these plays, but this is obviously the one end of the spectrum. But like the first edition Slow King from Neo, that CGC 10 was selling for 10 times less than the PSA 10. And then what was another one? God, I'm trying to think of it. Oh, the Typhlosion, right? Going for that Neo Typhlosion, the number 17. You can get that in a CGC 10 for like 10 times or more or less than the PSA 10. And again, these are just moonshot, but like this goes for all the cards. If you can find cards in CGC 10 and they look clean, or Beckett 9.5 and they look clean, and the PSA 10 is like a 2-3x plus multiple, take that risk, because at the end of the day, if it gets a 9, you're not losing much. If you get to 10, you make exponential amounts. All you can do is get a 10 a certain amount of time out of that, and you're always going to come out ahead. So I just wanted to show that the Mewtwo is one of the plays I wanted to kind of show. The other one, guys, it's like one of my favorite cards, the Silver Dialga, right? The Silver Dialga, bought this at auction, $122.50. All right, October 10th. All right, here it is. PSA 9. PSA 9. If you're not familiar with what those go for, PSA 9, 466, 405 best offer. 121 at auction. People are just auctioning off mint cards that you can grade. They're out there. Like they're out there. Let me go ahead and make sure I know I wanted to show some of these. I don't really care. Yeah. I guess I don't care if you see the names. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, whatever. All right, so whatever. You see who I bought it from. I don't really care, but this is what I paid, right? So bought this Charizard, right? This is the big T23 Obsidian Flames Charizard. And a lot of these guys I probably overpaid and still did okay. I don't have this one back yet. That's still getting graded. But Evolution Charizard right here, $40. Okay, right off eBay. Another Dialga right here, $205, right off eBay. The Iono, $95 right here, right off eBay. Right? Charizard, $35 right off eBay. So guys, These are just sourced right off eBay. And here they all are right here. Okay. Iona, PSA 10. Charizard, PSA 10. Right? The other Charizard, PSA 10. I mean, you can see what these go for, right? Paid $40. It goes for, 130s, 140s, 150s, right? The Iona, it's like a $200 card. The other Charizard, I guess now the other Charizard up. But I mean, oh, sorry, I wasn't sharing. Here, the Iona, like $200 card, right? The Evolution Charizard's like $150 card, something like that. The other, it's like these deals, I mean, they're out there. People are consistently just giving away near mint cards at auction on eBay. You can find those. You can find slabs to crack. And then the last one I wanted to share was TCG Player, because everyone's always, telling me that you can't find any cards on TCG Player. And so I have all my purchase orders right here. I'll show you here. So here are these. Now, guys, this isn't a good play. I'm not trying to say this is a great play. It was a lot better when I sent them in because these were going for like $80, $90 as a 10. Now they're down. I'm selling for 50s. So it's still money, but it's not a great play. But it's just to prove that you can find mint cards. So the Tyranitar EX from Obsidian Flames, right? The silver one. Okay. I bought 2 right here, 5 right here. This person sent me the wrong cards, so I got refunded and I never got those 7. 2 more here. Here's the Charizard I bought, and two more here. So all together, okay, I bought 11 of these. Okay. I bought 11. Out of those 11, I was able to grade 5. So almost half of the cards I got straight up TCG Player near mint, no pictures. Almost 50% were gradable. Of that 50%, here they are. I got 1 9. All the rest were 10s. 4 10s. Right out TCG Player near mint. I mean, I get people tell me all the time you can't find any mint cards on TCG Player. I do it all the time. And so, yeah, I mean, guys, it's like I say, everything is business as usual. You can find mint cards on eBay. You can find them on TCG Player. You can find them in person, right? Sealed product is going to continue to rise over time. I don't really know where else to go from here. Like, if people still don't believe making money is possible, if people still don't believe you can make money grading and selling slabs, if people still don't believe that like this stuff sells or it's liquid or, I don't know what else I can do to convince anyone. And I'm just not going to try to convince anyone. I'm just going to show you my everything day to day, be as transparent as possible, show my real purchases, show my real sales, show everything I'm doing. And hopefully it helps everyone listening. And if it doesn't, and you don't like it, and you don't think it's real, then don't do it. But this stuff works. I mean, it just works. That there's money there. It's money to be made. Pokemon continues to grow. You've seen multiple people in this comment section say they just got back into the hobby. Everything's on the up and up. Anyone telling you that things are bad or 2024 is going to be bad or trying to fill your head with that garbage, don't listen to them. They're just trying to cause, fear and panic. And it's not based off anything real is the problem. Alex, thanks for showing Pokemon Invest a different way. People are not showing how to profit from selling Pokemon cards. Thanks for speaking the truth. Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna get a lot more into that next year and show really, kind of like, I guess, like behind the scenes, like show you exactly how it works, all the expenses broken down, all the actual profits, and show you. I mean, guys, it's very, very possible. Like, I don't know what to say about it. It's just it works. If you want to do it, great. If it's not for you, no big deal. Move on. Now I can get on board with this. Sitting here opening X, Y, and Sun and Moon booster boxes? What? Are you really doing that? If so, that's some crazy stuff right there. Can't go anywhere on the internet without hearing politics. Ain't that the truth? It's so funny. What did I forget what I forget who it was. They used to like go to random videos on YouTube and like if the game was like how long before it gets political, and you would just go to the video and go to the comment section, and they would place bets on how many comments down it would get political. It was like it was always like third comment down or fifth comment down. Someone had to mention something about politics. It's so funny how people live their lives that way. Like, guys, here's the thing. I haven't been alive that long. I'm 33, but I've been alive for, I mean, I've been alive for more presidents than I'm going to list, but like in my like coherent life, like when I'm at least like maybe like a younger kid or a teenager, I mean, who have we had? We've had, I mean, George Bush, we had Clinton, we had, Bush Jr., we've had Obama, we've had Trump, we've had Biden. Like I've seen a lot of different presidents, right? Other than the pandemic thing, we're going to rule out the pandemic. Other than that, how much have our day-to-day lives really changed? Life gets a little harder. Things get a little more expensive each year. Other than that, life is pretty much the same as it always is. If you want to go out and work harder, get more educated, take risks, start a business, invest, you can get ahead in life. And if you don't, you won't. But I don't think there's a president out there, right, Democrat or Republican, that stopped anyone in my lifetime from making money, from having a family, from having a happy life, from enjoying their hobbies, from whatever you want to say, right? So it's like, why do we put so much stock in who's in the White House? How much does it really affect our day-to-day lives? Now, in the future, will something happen and some kind of crazy tyrannical rule and who knows, martial law? I don't know. But up until now, life's been pretty normal. Other than the pandemic little thing, with it's a worldwide thing though. The president isn't going to change your life that much, guys. Stop getting so wrapped up in it. Would you still buy Charizard UPCs at 90 euros, 115? Here's the thing. They have a built-in value because of the packs and the promos. All the packs in Sword and Shield continue to rise, all the boxes and sets, which will allow them to hold their value. And then the promos are actually doing well. They're holding value pretty well, and even in graded copies. So those are going to hold value. So you have built-in value in there. And then, yes, the sealed product itself always does hold value over time as more and more get open, as less and less are available. So do I think it's going to rise in price? Absolutely. It's why I still hold 20 or 18 of them, right? 20, 18? I have something like that, 18 or 20 of them. That's why I hold that many of them. I did get in a lot lower. So it's really about your time frame, what kind of gains you're looking for, deciding where else I got to put $115. But no one knows the future. It's not the worst idea in the world, but it's not the best. I'll say that. Austin, I don't know much about the gift collection market. Like, I don't know much about the auxiliary products of One Piece. I pay attention to the booster box market. I couldn't tell you, man. I'm sorry. I don't know the price points close enough. I couldn't give you real information on that. Wish I could. Now I'm curious. Were you ever a Yu-Gi-Oh collector? Oh, perfect. Stay here. I just got this collection in. I just bought out a Yu-Gi-Oh collection. And it's pretty cool. So the guy had, let me take that off the screen. The guy had some of these like promos, but he had like the entire, all right, this is the entire LOB, Metal Raiders, and then some Spell Ruler, some Pharaoh Servant, and some other sets not completed. But the LOB and the Magic Ruler were completed. And what caught my eye was they were the originals. They weren't the 25th anniversary. They're the original LOB stamp. So, those sell for a good amount. So like those sets, the price I got them for, I can break them down, sell them raw right now, and make a good profit. Yu-Gi-Oh with grading, like some of the old cards are worth grading. I haven't went through them and saw if there's any good first editions, because some of them are first edition. So I may grade some. A lot of them is probably going to be breaking them down and selling individually. And some, once I make a profit, I am going to try to actually keep some for myself, because yes, I do like Yu-Gi-Oh. I still like to collect it. But yes, it's funny you mentioned that. I just got that collection in yesterday. Haven't even had time to really go through it yet. So yeah, I do like Yu-Gi-Oh. Definitely. Master sets would be cool. And honestly, those 25th anniversary sets, man, you can collect those dirt cheap. Like some of the best hits in the set are going for like $20. Like you can really put those sets together dirt cheap. Legendary Collection and Shadowless cards are performing really well, which shows scarcity holds true. Yeah, I think they're performing somewhat decent, depending on the grades. Modern and vintage work in tandem, whole scheme of things. It's not really true though, dude. Like, I know what you're trying to say, but ever since the big boom, and vintage and modern both crashed. Like modern, especially XY and Sun and Moon, has came roaring back. And like I said, 95% of those boxes are all higher than what I sold them at near the height of the boom. So they're all past their pandemic highs. Whereas like, very little vintage cards have even come close to their vintage highs or crossed their vintage highs. And none of the sealed product has. And so modern is really kind of where the money is now. And I don't agree that you need vintage to do well for modern to do well. Vintage needs modern to do well for vintage to do well, in my opinion, because it needs the hobby to continue to bring more people. And then hopefully a small portion of those people will have the money, the funds, and the interest to go back and start collecting vintage. So I would kind of argue it's the other way around. Vintage, you are buying in too late. The market has a ton of time to correct. But you could argue that if some attention does return to vintage, yeah, absolutely. Like it's all about like how much attention. It's just time will tell. Time will tell. Just seeing how it's performed ever since the pandemic, it's very lackluster. And here's the thing: so me and Cameron, we go back and forth all the time. I like Cameron. It's just we push each other's buttons on vintage and modern. That's who Godly Shad is, by the way. The thing is, right, is that even if you end up being right, so let's say you're right about vintage and it does start performing well in years to come, how much money have you missed out on in modern, right? Like these last 3 years when X, Y, and Sun and Moon boxes and cards have been going to the moon, right? Vintage has been stagnant. So if you were to sell all your X, Y, Sun and Moon investments right now, or Sword and Shield investments right now, and realize all those gains, you're so far ahead of vintage already. And now you start reinvesting now into more Sword and Shield, into Scarlet and Violet, and let those age. And so let's say vintage does have a good run in like 2 or 3, 4 years. Well, usually if modern is doing well too, and it kind of offsets those gains, you're still way ahead from all the other products that you had during the time when vintage is stale. And then with that being said, it's like all modern booster boxes always move up. Vintage, it's like some are moving well, some aren't. It's really kind of like being a stock picker, picking the right cards. So it's like, I just think in the long run, you're still better off in modern. I really do. Best time in vintage is when no one is talking about it. Not everyone's thinking about it. It's possible. It's possible. Team Up could argue. No, you could not argue Team Up is vintage. That's crazy. Yeah, it's definitely a better time to buy now than 2 years ago. I agree with that. I think people are stuck in the old vintage narrative. Prices have dropped considerably. The old vintage narrative? What's the old vintage narrative, Christian? I'm a sucker for vintage. I was there for Pokemon's heyday 90s. I was too. Guys, if you're new to my channel, 90% of my collection and investment was vintage before the boom, right? I sold off every single thing I owned. I mean, I had everything. Like I had base set box unlimited, and then base 2 was unlimited, but I had Jungle, Fossil, Team Rocket, Gym Challenge, Gym Heroes, first edition boxes, sealed, okay? I had all the base set booster packs. I had base set unlimited. I had Shadowless. I had Black Triangle packs. If you don't know what that is, look those up. I had the 1999 2000 packs. I had Jungle Blisters. I had Fossil Blisters. I had every theme deck in first gen WotC. Every one of them, even Thunderstorm and Tempest. They're the hard ones to get. Even all the Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge ones. Like, I had the Jungle gift box. I had the demo pack. I had, just tons. I get, tons of slabs that I graded myself. A lot of first edition Jungle and Fossil slabs. A lot of base unlimited slabs. I had, like I said, most of my collection investment was vintage, right? A lot of it was still sealed. I still loved sealed, but it was vintage. I sold out during the pandemic because of the heights it hit and because I no longer believed it had the future it did. And I repositioned what I was moving into, right? Because I saw the shift in the market. The issue is a lot of people are still living in the past and they haven't noticed the shift in the market. The shift in the market is a lot of the big dogs, they sold out. They sold all their investments after they were successful in pumping the vintage market. They took all those gains. Maybe they still collect. A lot of them don't even make YouTube videos anymore. A lot of them, even if they do make YouTube videos, like even SM Pratt, what's he doing? He's like just posting his consignments. He's not even really making investment talks anymore. Like a lot of that whole crowd is gone, right? Not only that, a lot of people got crushed buying into vintage that did get sucked into the hobby during that time, and they have a bad taste in their mouth. And anyone finding the hobby now, a lot of people didn't even have a history with vintage, but now they have a history with modern. And so it's just, there's a lot more interest and a lot more popularity, and it takes a lot less for modern products to move than it does vintage. And again, sealed product is more proven, right? Every booster box in history has risen in value, every single one. And then people will say, well, what about when Pokemon was dead? Well, I don't know what happened when Pokemon was dead. I left the hobby in about 2001, 2002. I got back in 2015. And in 2015, a base set booster box was $800. So sometime between when I got out and the dead time of Pokemon, that box went from like whatever it was sold for back then, $60, $70, $80 to $800. So at 1,000x in price during the dead time in Pokemon. Okay, so it's like sealed product has always done well. Like trying to speculate on vintage cards, you're really taking a risk. You're really taking shots in the dark. You better know what you're doing. You better have money to blow, because it's a good chance that some of those investments won't pan out. Whereas, and again, you're getting in at a high price point, even though they dropped in value, right? Even though it went from say $10,000 or $5,000 to $1,000, it could still go lower, right? Whereas modern boxes, they've never dropped lower than $70 ever. Open market, full price. Not talking about coupons, special deals, all that. So you have a built-in bottom with a lot of these boxes that are at 70s and 80s. You have a lot better chance of making money and a lot better chance of not losing money when buying into modern. So that's why I believe what I do, guys. And if you don't agree with me, it's fine. There's vintage channels out there, that you can go hear about that stuff from them. Vintage versus modern is always interesting. 13-year-olds that every video games aren't going after or playing NES and won't want to collect them, similar to 30, 40-year-olds not wanting Atari. Yeah, I mean, well, here's the other thing that you think about is even people my age who grew up, who have all the nostalgia for vintage, right, are kind of over it. Like, I'm over it. Would I like to own it? Sure. Would I like to pay those prices? No. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like when I can buy, 5 cases of a modern box for the price of one vintage slab, I mean, I'm like 99.9% sure I'd put a ton of money on it that those boxes are going to move up in more value and they're going to be worth more in terms of money than that vintage slab will, and it's going to do it faster. And so it's just like, it doesn't make sense anymore at the prices they've appreciated to. It made sense when I was buying, base set booster boxes for a couple grand, or when I was buying, slabs back then for $50 and $100 of base set. Like that made sense. Like it just doesn't make sense now in terms of an investment. Here, I'll explain it to you. Let me explain it this way. If any of you understand the stock market, right? What do companies, so there's 2 kind of stocks, right? There's growth stocks and there's dividend stocks, right? And we can get into all that in another video about like what's better to invest in. But there's a reason that when growth companies become established and they reach certain, whatever metrics they're wanting to hit, what happens is their business gets to a point where it's steady, but it's no longer having massive growth and it kind of stagnates, right? There's a reason they start offering dividends. You want to know why that is? That's because investors are no longer and don't have as much opportunity to make money off the growth in stock price. And so the company will pay them a dividend to continue to hold and invest in their company. They pay you for it, right? That's what vintage has done. It's reached a point where it's stagnated, and now it might see some slow growth over time, but there's no dividends. You don't get paid to own that stuff. Whereas modern, that's like owning a growth company where you're making those exponential gains still. That's the reason it makes more sense. Whereas vintage is like, yeah, it's great. It'll probably hold pretty steady. It won't have massive probably drops anymore, but there's no dividend you're getting paid. So it's like you're holding something that's going to have little to stagnation growth, but you don't get paid to own it. So it's just like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to invest in anymore. Let's see. Go back to your vintage versus modern argument. Which do you buy, Paradox Rift BB versus Japanese Neo Houndoom? Paradox Rift BB. All day. All day. It's just not these random Pokemon and these random sets. Where are you going to find the demand for them? Like if you would have said, if you want to make it like a harder argument, like take a popular Pokemon that's like part of like a popular like a set group, like a Shining or a Crystal or a Gold Star, like first edition base, right? If you take something like that, it's going to have a lot. Say like, okay, take a first edition base PSA 9 card at $1,000 or 2 cases of Paradox Rift, and then it becomes a time frame in the next like 1, 2, 3 years. The vintage could outperform it in 3 to 5 plus years. I think Paradox Rift's going to outperform it just because, just look what modern boxes do. They usually double, triple in that amount of time. And so it depends on the time frame. It depends on the card. But no, a random Japanese Neo card, Houndoom, it's not that popular of a Pokemon just because. Here's the thing that a lot of people, and this is the issue that we fell into with a lot of the content creators of the past, is they put way too much emphasis on pop reports and way too much emphasis on rarity and not enough emphasis on demand or popularity. Here's the issue. You are going to have such a small group of people that ever want to collect the middle era cards of vintage, right? Of those people, a lot of them are going to be rich and wealthy in Wales. They go for the top stuff. They want the trophies. They want the illustrators. They want the first ed base PSA 10s. They want the gold stars. They want the creme de la creme, the top, right? A lot of those people, they're not going to care about going and collecting some random stupid middle card, right? That you may love, but not many others do. And then the other people who aren't whales, that just like are super Pokemon fans, a lot of them just aren't going to ever find that card, right? They're not going to they might go back and find first edition base and like Jungle and Fossil. They may go back and find like the top cards everyone talks about, like Shinies and Gold Stars, but they're not going to dig through all these sets and try to find this one random card. It's got a low pop. It's like, okay, low pop reports only matter if there's enough demand. Like it could have a 1 pop. If no one wants it, no one cares. And so, no, Chris, and I would take the Paradox Rift. I think worrying about pop reports when cards they're not as popular Pokemon, they're random cards and random sets, it just doesn't make sense to me. This is the truth. The vintage cards don't matter to the masses. The masses run the market. And now that you don't have those vintage YouTubers pushing the market anymore, it's going to make it extremely hard for those cards to move. Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't get any love. It's just no one cares. There's too much other stuff to care about. What do you think will be the best investment for 2024? I really think 2024 will be a good year for the hobby. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of the Scarlet Violet stuff moves. Nothing crazy. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we see those boxes in the hundreds, 100, 110, maybe 120, like Paldea or something. Maybe the 151 stuff, does well if a big reprint doesn't come. But I don't see a ton of movement there. I think it'll be the year of Sword and Shield. I really do. And not all Sword and Shield. I think base set and Rebel Clash will probably still struggle. They'll probably be pretty stagnant. If you're still holding large positions in that, it might be smart to just, take some profits. I don't think they're going to see a ton of growth. Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze, maybe have some movement. I really think the alt art sets are going to see movement. I wouldn't be surprised if multiple of those hit $200. I wouldn't be surprised if Evolving Skies is in the $500 to $600 range. I really think there's going to be 50, 100% gains on some of those boxes next year. Could be wrong. It really depends on, kind of what happens with the economy, the world, the market. But what I'm saying is I'm not guaranteeing it. I wouldn't be surprised though. It wouldn't be something where I'd be like, I'm shocked. I can't believe it. I cannot believe that Chilling Reign is $220 a box. It blows my mind. That wouldn't blow my mind, right? If in December next year that box is $220, or some of these boxes that are like $130, $140 get to like $180, $190, $200, like Astral Radiance or Fusion Strike or Chilling or Lost Origin, stuff like that. It would not surprise me for those boxes to be $180, $190, $200. That's all I'm saying. So definitely those, I think, Sword and Shield sets. As far as cards, The alt arts still may need a little more time. I think a lot of them have dropped as much, like have seen the major drops they're going to see. I don't know if they're going to see massive like upticks though. They might stagnate. Some may still trend down. Some may trend up. I don't know if they're going to spike though. You know, I still think a lot of. I'm not gonna say XY again. Everyone always gets on me for XY. I just think it's gonna be. I think some alt arts are gonna do well, especially if the sets do good enough. And I think it's just gonna be the year of Sword and Shield boxes. I think there'll be obviously certain releases, certain stonks you can do. I think One Piece is still gonna do extremely well. So that's where I'm looking. Sorry, significant was too strong of a word for all of them. I was going with 20%-ish or more. I think half the cards fall in the category 4 about even and 4 up. Yeah. Okay, that's fair, Jason. That's fair. Here's the thing: like things are always up and down, especially with sets that are 2 and 3 years old. I just think people are overblowing things, and I think YouTubers need to make content on it. But things are a lot better than people make it out to be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people just take it too far with the crash words and all that. Imagine grading a whole UPC. That's funny. Hey, awesome to hear. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. Do you ever buy binder collections and hope for profit by grading some of the cards? Yeah, I mean, I've done that multiple times this year alone. Absolutely. You know, make sure the pictures are good. If the pictures aren't good, message the seller, ask for some more pictures, ask them about the conditions. Yeah, I mean, with a binder collection, it's usually not going to be a high percentage of the cards. You know, maybe 20-30% of the cards are gradable. The rest, you can flip back in the market at near mint. Hopefully hopefully, you have enough margin worked in for your work and time where you can pretty much recoup all your money, and then the graded cards are really going to be your profit. But yeah, absolutely, you can definitely find gradable copies. I have my next PSA order I'm going to get back have a lot of cards from one of my binder collections, so we're going to see how it did. But absolutely. Shiny treasure. Martin. I'm not a Japanese guy, so I can't really comment on that stuff. I don't follow the Japanese market. I stick to English. Do you think PSA is being stricter on PSA 10 grades? I do not. Just from what I've experienced, most of my orders are still about like, and I'd grade English again, are still like 70 to 80% 10s. That's pretty average, I think. That's kind of how it's always been. I will say I do think they grade vintage cards a lot harder. It's much harder to get a vintage 9 or 10 nowadays than it used to be. So I will say that. No, I'm gonna make one of those next year though, Robert. I'm gonna make a video sending stuff to PSA and show the whole process on how it works. Everything from how to what to put your card in, how to grade them, how to package it, how to make the order. I am gonna do a video on that next year. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I've had that asked a lot of times by multiple people actually. I got someone in the chat. I'll put it on screen. You are white. So, of course, an extremely openly racist president doesn't affect you. He's openly racist now. Okay. Man. People get triggered by some weird stuff. I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Wasn't good profit. I opened a box of Age of Overland. Yeah. Wait, profit 150? That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't really get too involved in Yu-Gi-Oh! I got into the 25th anniversary stuff, but that was it. And then like I'll buy some like collections and stuff like that, but like I don't get into like the new release sets and all the new Pokemon or all the new monsters and all the new formats and all that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just not for me anymore. Like I enjoy the old stuff from the show, and I enjoy like when they reprint it, but I don't get involved in the new stuff. I couldn't really talk much about Yu-Gi-Oh! Too in depth. When people say Pokemon is down, it's only down from the peak pandemic insanity. I don't know how you can look back 5+ years and say it. You can't. I mean, it's just like there's nothing you can say to people that just don't want to believe it. Yeah, I mean, 10+ years. I would say vintage. Here's how I describe vintage. Okay, and everyone's definition can be different. I consider WotC, Wizards of the Coast vintage, and I consider anything from then until XY mid-era. And the reason for that is because in XY, that's when we saw the modern, like Pokemon getting the limelight again. What I mean by that is that's when Pokemon Go, the cell phone game, was released worldwide. That's when Evolutions was released, Generations, the 20th anniversary set. That's when the print runs really ramped up again. And that's when Pokemon became mainstream again. That's when Pokemon really started to get bought out in stores and you started to hear about it. That's when a lot of the biggest YouTubers started, like Leonhardt and Unlisted Leaf and all that. And so that's kind of when modern era started, modern print run started, was really like XY time. So I consider it kind of like that. Like WotC's vintage, mid-era is kind of like from then until Black and White. And then, XY on is modern. And then you could say like, well, Sword and Shields, Scarlet Violet are ultra modern or whatever. But that's kind of how I view it. You can hear a million different definitions, but that's why I have the definition that I do. The email has been sent. Hey, man. The card will be sent out to you on what, Tuesday? Because Monday's a holiday. Tuesday. Low pop. Guys, that's Godly Shad. I had his comment on the screen. He's in here. That's what he goes by in Discord. Everyone knows we have our knockdown, drag out fights in there. It's always a good time, though. I made it. Did I make it? 2:35. I made it to the end of the chat. How did I do it? All right, guys. It's been about almost 2 hours. I'll be in here another 5 or 10 minutes. You guys got any last minute questions, and I'll let everyone get on with their New Year's Eve. I really appreciate all you guys being here. I'm really excited for 2024. I took on a couple more sponsors. So I have a couple new sponsors for the channel that I can't wait to share with you next month. So I'm excited about that. We're having more sponsors reach out to the channel. And I think they're going to be good services. Well, one of them is just for fun, but the other one I think is going to be a really good service to take advantage of. That I've talked to the guy a few times, and it sounds really good. So I have that coming up next year. Definitely going to do more box breaks. The PSA orders, they keep rolling in. So if you guys want to check out the eBay store, I got tons of good stuff there. I usually have things at pretty competitive prices. If you watch the channel, feel free to reach out to me off of eBay, right? Not through eBay, because eBay will pick it up. Reach out on Instagram or Discord, and I will give you discounts off the eBay prices through that. Then I do have TCG Player account too. Guys, I'll be real honest with you. If you're buying cards from me on TCG Player or eBay that are raw singles, they will not be gradable. Okay. Now, the conditions of the cards will always be very good. If you buy a near mint card from me, it's always going to be like an 8-9 condition, in my opinion. Anything lower than that, I just say light play. So if it's got more than a few white nicks, if it's got some scratches on the hollow, I throw it in light play condition because I don't want anyone to be upset. And so my light play cards are going to be like other people's like near mint cards on TCG Player. Anything more than light play, I usually just list as played. Even though like you'll buy heavily played cards from me where they won't even be that bad. Some are bad, but I mean, I try to be very fair with my conditions, but don't be buying cards from me hoping to get gradable copies. I grade cards, so my cards I sell probably aren't gradable. But the near mint cards, they're very good condition still. Great binder cards if you're not looking for grading, because anything that isn't really good near mint, I throw in light play. So other than that, yeah, guys, it's going to be business as usual here. Going to keep the content coming. I'm going to try to have some more like IRL, some more in real life content, some more vlog style content to really kind of be more engaging, stuff like that. And I'll stay on top of it. I'll stay on top of all these other negative Nancy's in the community. I'll keep attacking them with facts and data, so they can stop all their opinionated BS on the community and getting everyone scared. Yeah, I'll keep doing the best I can for all you guys. So that's kind of my ending of the year. What do you guys got in the comment section to end this off? If you were looking to make money with $1,000, where are you allocating the money to get a return within the year? Grading. I believe in grading. What I would do, Cameron, is I would, if there any collecticons are near you, I would go to a collecticon. The amount of money you're going to spend on the drive or the small amount of travel, and then the fee to get in, you will make back by sourcing raw singles. You know, when you can look at a single in person and you can see there's nothing wrong with it, usually you can work cash deals out or bundle deals with the people selling the cars so they want to get rid of them. Or you can find the cars on eBay, TCG Player, but you know, in person is going to be your best bet. And I would just find mint singles. I'd grade them, and the PSA 10s are going to be exponential returns. The 9s are usually going to be break even. Maybe you lose a little bit with your grading fee and stuff. But as long as you're a good grader, you get enough 10s, that's where you're going to see the biggest portion of your income. And then also, if you don't want to grade, I would look for collections and lots. The reason you can make money on collections and big lots is because you're basically doing the work, right? You're doing the work of breaking things down and flipping them. And for that work, and someone else who's just selling the collection all at once, they're willing to take a little less money, right? Because they don't want to do all that work. So if you want to put in the work and effort, buy out large collections, break them down, sell them slowly, you can definitely make good returns doing that. And these are all going to be usually, if you're doing it right, better, faster, higher returns than investing, because you're actively running a side business basically, whereas investing is going to be, you know, passive income. You're just letting things grow over time with no work. And so that's what I would say if you're wanting to make the most money you can within the year is buy raw and grade, or buy out collections and sell the singles. Exciting for new content next year, making me millions, getting that Bugatti. Better play, Gengar VMAX or Giratina? Gengar VMAX. I gotta stick with Gengar VMAX. Giratina, it's a newer popular Pokemon where Gengar's been popular forever. So I gotta stick with the Gengar. I think it's got a larger customer base, and that will propel it further faster. That's my opinion. Alex, would you wait for a reprint of English 151 too early? I just don't know what's coming. I mean, I know they just released a lot more product lately with ETBs and UPC, so I just don't know. So what I'm doing, I'm buying a little. I'm dipping my feet in. You know, I'm buying some UPCs right now. I'm waiting to see what happens. Maybe I miss out and nothing comes back down. I'm okay with that. And then if reprints do come, then yes, I will be going very heavy in 151 with a reprint. Came across WotC binder sets and multiple copies, but no hollows. 2,500 cards for 400. What do you think? Depends on the condition. Depends on the sets. Depends if they're first edition. If you can get mint first edition copies of any WotC set and grade them, right, 10s, even some 9s, you can do very well. I mean, most first edition base set commons, uncommons are worth anywhere from $40 to $100+ in a 9. In 10s, they're all worth like hundreds. And the same goes for a lot of jungle, fossil, other cards. If you can get 10s, you can do very well. So it wouldn't take many of them to get that $400. But again, depends if they're mint, depends if they're first edition, depends what sets they're from. So it just really depends, man. I can't give an answer on that. Oh, here it is. Mostly unlimited, base 2, rocket, fossil, jungle, unlimited. It's going to be rough. I mean, PSA 10s still sell. They're less liquid. They sell slow, but you will still make a good margin because people still want to collect PSA 10s. It's very hard to get 10s, though. It's easier on commons, uncommons, rares because they're not hollow. But, yeah, I mean, that's something where you really want more pictures of it before you bought it because a lot of that stuff's just bulk at this point. It's going to be hard to sell it off and make a profit, and it's going to be a very slow sale. Which Sword and Shield set do you think is the best to invest in right now? I was saying Chilling Reign. Now Chilling Reign has moved really quickly up to 170s. Now it's not at the price point. It's not as good. And Brilliant Stars has already taken off. Probably like Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, since you can still find them under 150. I'd probably say maybe your best. Oh, and then Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith ETBs at 35 or less. That's a great pickup. Something like that is what I would say. All right, guys, we're going to end it there. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. Thanks so much for all the support you show me this year. The channel's had so much growth, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, here's the thing. Look, even when we we disagree. Like, I'll disagree with you in the comments. We'll disagree in the live streams. Maybe we get at each other's throats sometime in the Discord. Look, guys, I'm not mad at anyone. I'm not angry. Like, I like to debate just like anyone else, but like, I don't hate anyone. I'm not against anyone. Like, I have my opinions, but I'm definitely not mad at you if you make profit doing things that look, I'm not a Japanese collector. I go back and forth with people on Japanese. I'm not upset with people making money in Japanese. Great. I'm not a vintage guy, but people will post stuff that like certain vintage cards have done good this year. I'm happy for you. It's awesome. Like, anytime you can enjoy this hobby and also make money doing what you enjoy at the same time, that's a win. That's a win. Now, obviously, when people ask me what I think the better investment is, I have to give my opinion and be honest. I think the best investment's modern sealed, right? But in terms of like any disagreements I have with people, look, it's all love. It's all fun. You know, the political stuff, now that's a different story. That's craziness. I don't like to get too one-sided on that. You know, I have my own opinions, but they're not like, you know, I'm definitely not one of those people that doesn't hear the other side out and doesn't see, you know, goods and bads in both. But I don't like to go too crazy on the politics stuff. So sorry to anyone who wanted the politic debate. I'm not doing that. But I'm not mad at you. If you don't agree with me on stuff, I'm not mad at you. And even anyone in the community who, like, you know, people out there that hate on me or make hate videos on me or whatever it may be, I'm not even mad at them, man. They got their own deal they're trying to do, their own audience, their own agendas, like whatever it may be. It's all good. Like, it doesn't get to me. I'm just trying to make content that people can actually use, whether it be for investing, for making money in this hobby, for building the best collection at the best cost, for understanding the market. I'm trying to make content that's actually usable. Sometimes it's not the most entertaining. Sometimes I say things that are controversial that piss people off. Sometimes I make videos showing facts and data that correct other YouTubers that made, you know, either false claims or claims that really didn't add up or weren't the best takes. And because of that, I get hated on. It becomes, you know, it terms looked at like I'm creating drama. But all I'm trying to do a lot of times is set the record straight and you know, allow people to make the best decisions possible with their money in this hobby. And so if it comes across wrong, you know, I understand that's why I get some heat. But guys, you know, that's the whole purpose of this channel, right? It's just to show that anyone can do this still in 2023, going into 2024. Anyone can do this. The opportunities are still there. You can still collect sealed. You can still collect singles. You can still grade cards. You can do modern. You can do vintage. You can do Japanese. You can do English. You can take chances on other games like One Piece, right? The opportunities are still there. They're not going anywhere. The hobby's strong. And guys, literally anyone can do this. So here is to a great 2024. I wish everyone the best. And we're going to keep killing it here. That's all I got, guys. Happy New Year's Eve. Hope everyone has a great night. I'm out.